I mean, at this point, you would think it would be easier, but just when you think you've got it all figured out, it's like, but wait, there's more. Hey dolls, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, as you can tell by the title, I am going to be answering and discussing the question, why is it so hard to date the older that you get? Like, seriously, it should not be this difficult. So if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos, and don't forget to hit that bell as well. And if you're returning, you already know I'm glad to see your face. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Now, I have 5 reasons today as to why I think dating gets more complicated and more difficult the older you get, but there are several reasons. So the first one for me is that you're more jaded from the past. You know, the more that you live life, the more things that you've gone through, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, whatever, but everything that we go through shapes us, and it determines how we move in future situations. Because naturally the human response is going to say, you know what, when I did XYZ, this and this happened, so I don't want to repeat that, so I'm not going to go down that road again. And so you end up becoming more and more guarded, especially if you don't take the time to heal and seek proper assistance in that journey, whether that's a counselor or therapist, you know, really just going on like a self-love and self-healing journey, whatever that looks like for you. If you don't take the time to do that, sis, you are going to end up really guarded, really jaded, and that is going to affect you in future relationships. And so I feel like because as we get older, like I said, we go through more and more things, then you are definitely going to find it more difficult to date, because guess what? You're not the only one walking around guarded or protecting yourself. And granted, you should guard your heart. I'm not saying just go out here and just give your trust and everything to anybody all willy-nilly. Like, you know, definitely use discernment, but you're not the only one that has that same thing that they're carrying or something similar. Everybody's kind of carrying around their own baggage, and everybody's kind of reluctant to like trust and to let their guard down and to take a chance and all that. So that makes it really difficult, because you're going to keep going through things in life. And if you keep piling on those things that you go through and just creating more and more bricks in that wall around your heart, it's going to be very, very hard for you to open up in love, because no matter how you slice it or dice it, love is a risk. You're going to have to take a risk and open up and trust someone and be vulnerable to a degree and transparent and stuff. Obviously, the deeper you get in the relationship, the more transparency there'll be, the more vulnerability there'll be, but you're definitely going to have to open up, because nobody wants to be in a relationship with someone who's emotionally unavailable. Okay, that's a whole other video for a whole other day, but nobody wants to be in a relationship like that, because then it's like, why are we even together? Like, I feel like you're hiding something, or there's like this kind of weird sense of mystery about you. Not good mysterious where it's like, ooh, they're so mysterious, that's attractive, but no, like a serious, like, I don't even know who you are anymore type of mysterious. So I think that us being jaded from our past hurts and heartaches definitely makes it harder to date. And then, you know, it just keeps piling on, and it piles on and it piles on. So it's important for you to heal from those things. And like I said, whatever that looks like for you, it's important, because again, none of us want to be in an emotionally unavailable relationship. Ain't nobody got time for it. I know I don't, and I know you don't either, period. The next reason that I have as to why relationships and dating gets harder as you get older is because the older we get, the less willing we are to take risks. You know, like, I know for me, when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, I would take a risk in a relationship, even if it was like, should I even be with this kind of person? Like, I don't know. But I was more willing to take that risk to, you know, build them up or overinvest my time, or, you know, just kind of even sometimes to my detriment, like put myself on the back burner, because I didn't know myself. I was still learning myself. I didn't know what I needed, what I wanted, what I didn't need, what I didn't want, you know, so I was just kind of like, whatever. Like, I had an idea, but I wasn't sure. Now, you know, being so much older and over 10 plus years removed from being 20, 21 years old, it's like, you know, I just know myself better. Like, in being in my 30s now, especially approaching my mid 30s, like, I really know what I need, what I want. I've dated and had various different experiences. And so with that being said, while you do gain wisdom from those experiences, you also can become less willing to take the risk of entering a relationship with someone, especially if they don't fit your boxes. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword, you know, because a lot of times you'll hear people say like, oh, write down your list, you don't know what you want and this and that, but then you could get bound to that list. And if even one little thing is off, then you're like, oh, nope, I don't want it. Like, I'm not going to take the risk. But it's like, love in and of itself is a risk. Dating is a risk. Like, again, like I said in the first point, you're gonna have to be vulnerable. You're gonna have to be trusting and trustworthy. You know, like, you're gonna have to really put yourself in a predicament where someone can break your heart, and it's not a fun position to be in if that happens, heaven forbid, but it is necessary in order for you to grow in relationships and to learn what you need, what you want, etc. And so I feel like the older we get, the less willing we are to take that risk, because it's like, been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. If you don't come like all the way together, then I'm not even entertaining it. But we fail to realize that we have our own mess too that somebody has to deal with, because we not all that in a bag of chips, you know, across the board. We got issues too, and that person has to deal with it as well. So I think if we become more willing to take smart risks, then it can make dating less difficult. But if everybody kind of stays like in this state of like, well, I'm not going to do, like, I'm not even going to work at it, and you don't come fit in my list, I don't care, you know, you got to check off all my boxes, then it's like, we're not going to get anywhere. But at the same time, being someone who's older and understanding, like, when you build a life for yourself and you invest in yourself and you establish certain things, you really don't want someone else to come in and upset that if you can avoid it. So I get both sides, but you know, the fact that, like I said, as we get older, we tend to be less willing to take risks definitely makes dating a lot more difficult in its own way. Another thing that makes dating difficult as you get older is that honestly, it's just harder to get out just to socialize, like, because your time is way more packed, especially if you have children, you know, or maybe you're taking care of like elderly parents or whatever the case may be. Like, your time is more filled with like adulting, adulthood responsibilities. You know, you've got your career or business or both in some cases. You've got children possibly, and they could, if you got multiples and they're in school, like, that's a whole nother life, you know, the school mom life with meetings and extracurricular activities and homework and this and that, the third. Like, I'm about to be entering that season soon, so y'all pray for your girl. But needless to say, you've got that. Then you've got your own, like, just friendships or whatever. Then you've got family life, you know, you've got church or whatever else you're into, whatever your passions are, your purpose, whatever. And so the time that you have to literally just go out and meet people is less and less the older you get. Like, when you're in high school, you're seeing your friends every day in class or lunch or, you know, on the bus or what have you. So it's easy to like really hone into those relationships because you're seeing each other every single day. So it doesn't take much more effort because it's already a part of your life. When you're in college, you might not see them every day, but you do have a little bit more free time to just like go hang out and like do nothing, you know, just get dressed up and go to the club or go to a lounge or go out to some kickback or, you know, a girls trip or whatever. Like, you just have more disposable time because you don't have as many responsibilities, you know? And so the older you get, the harder that is to literally find free time to just go out. Like, the other night, I was working before my birthday. Like, I woke up in my birthday working, and I was talking to one of the guys that like I was getting to know, but at this point has pretty much become a friend. And he was just like, yeah, so what you gonna do to ring your birthday and this and that? And I was like, I'm working, I'm getting to these coins. And he was like, you are always working, like, you're always doing something. And it just hit home. It's like, I really just don't have as much disposable time like I used to have 10 plus years ago. You know, now I have to schedule things. I have to like plan in advance. There is still some spontaneity in my life, but it's nowhere near where it used to be 10 plus years ago. Now, for the most part, I need to be organized, and I have to schedule time to go socialize. I have to schedule free time because you can find yourself being so busy. And so with that being said, it's like, how are you going to date when you get older if you don't have the free time to go meet people, to go socialize, to go put yourself in positions where people can see you and all of that kind of stuff? So, you know, that makes dating more difficult as well, but you can get ahead of it. Like I said, you just got to schedule and be proactive. But it does make it more difficult because it's like, now it's something where I have to be intentional about. It's not just flowing to me where I'm just free and I'm just going out and I'm just doing things and it's just happening. Plus, times have changed. I feel like even as recent as like 2014, you know, it wasn't as hard to meet someone. Now, 7 years later, or 7 plus years, if depending on when you're watching this, it's just like, it's so hard. People are just in their phones when they're out. You know, they're not really open to meeting people. Like, I feel like up until 2014, yeah, because that's when I met my son's father, it was pretty, it still was pretty decent to go out and just be like available and someone come up to you and stuff like that. Nowadays, that's real hit or miss. But needless to say, the lack of time to go socialize makes it harder to date as you get older. Another reason why dating gets harder as you get older too is because honestly, we're just stuck in our ways. It's like the saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I mean, honestly, no truer words have ever been spoken. Like, even the most open-minded, flexible, adaptable people establish certain habits the older you get with each passing year that is just like, this ain't going nowhere. Like, this is just who I am. You either take it or leave it. So I feel like the older we get and the more those patterns and habits are established, it makes it harder to date, because now that other person has to come and it's like, again, take me as I am. If you like it, I love it type of thing. Like, you just gonna have to deal with this period if you want to be with me. And you might find that a lot of people just don't want to deal with it. So even though you're bringing your authentic self, they could be like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I'll go ahead and take the alternative and hit the highway, you know? So that can be difficult because you're showing up as your true self and you're being honest, you know, you're being honest and transparent about it. But you can find that the people that you're meeting in that season or over a period of time are just not rocking with it. They're like, nope, you know? So I think that we do have to keep a level of ability to compromise, even though we can really be convicted about certain things. It's like, let me be adaptable, because I'm telling you, dating and relationships will challenge your deepest convictions, and they will bring out those other sides of you where it's like, dang, like, I never thought I would have to wrestle with this or think about this or work on this or that, you know? But yeah, the being stuck in our ways, being stubborn and resistant to change and adaptability, that definitely makes it hard, because everyone's coming with their hard and fast stance and they're like, I'm not budging. Well, I'm not budging either. And you just bumping heads. Like, when really you need to be locking arms and coming together. I know that was probably really cheesy, but I thought of it on the spot and I had to share it. And honestly, another reason why dating might just be harder as you get older is because you are more clear about what you want. And the reality of the situation is, the more clear about what you want that you become, the less options that you'll have available. You know, it's like when you commit to living a certain type of lifestyle, maybe you say, well, I'm going to commit to being healthy, like eating healthy, exercising every day, you know, not cursing, living a certain type of way, like whatever you commit to, that's basically putting you in another level of the game. It's elevating you to that next level. The more you elevate, the less options that you have. It's just life, you know? So the more sure that you are of the type of person that you want to be with, the clearer the vision you have of who your significant other needs to be like, or like their characteristics or whatever, the less options you're going to have, because a lot of people just aren't going to measure up to that. Like, not everybody is for you, you know? So it will make dating more difficult, because what's going to end up happening is you're going to run into a lot of frogs, quote unquote. You know, they're frogs for you, but for somebody else, they can be a Prince Charming, because they fit what they're looking for, but they don't fit what you're looking for. And so you're gonna have to be okay taking those L's, because you know that you know what you want the end to look like. You know that you're going for a particular goal, and so you're just gonna have to be okay with that, because a lot of people are just going to not make the cut. You know, the clearer I became about the type of man that I need, the more men that I started to reject. You know, now some men stick it out and they're like, I'm gonna stick around because she might change her mind, or, you know, I'm on a journey of transitioning to my next level or whatever. So, you know, it just depends. But I definitely have rejected more guys in recent years than I've accepted. Whereas in the past, I would have just kind of caught them all like a fishnet and just been like, hey, like, it's whatever. But now it's like, even though I still multi-date, you know, I'm not allowing everybody to literally come through that gate, you know? So a lot of people really don't even make the cut, just because they're not what I need. Like I said, for someone else, they could be a great man, but they're just not a fit for me. Nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, because I'm more clear of what I want and what I need, it does make it harder to date, because I have to understand that I'm going to deal with a lot of cycles of rejection, whether I'm the one rejecting or, you know, which honestly, most times that's what ends up happening. Even though that's really cruel, I'm not saying it to boast, but most times, unfortunately, I'm the heartbreaker, not the heartbreaky. But needless to say, it definitely just keeps it in a state where now, because I know that even though I'm the one that's doing the letting down, I still have to be aware of that and act accordingly, because I don't want to crush anyone's spirits. Like, that's never what I'm looking to do. So I just have to be upfront, you know, and just be like, yeah, like, it's not a fit, but I wish you the best, because it's just not a fit. It's no hard feelings. But just know that, like, you can also be having difficulty dating because you are so clear about what you need. And let me say this, it's not about being clear in a superficial way. You know, the things that I know that I need in a husband, like, my list are 99% characteristics. I think I only have like 2 physical things written on there, and I'm not even that pressed about it. Like, it's a preference, I would prefer it, but it's not like, oh my gosh, like, I gotta have it, otherwise I won't give him a chance. But all the other things are characteristics and personality. Like, that's what I'm talking about. When you're sure about who you need as far as their character and personality and stuff, then you're still gonna end up like letting a lot of people go. So just know that that can be a reason too why you're struggling in the dating scene, because you are so clear about the type of man that you need. So tell me, what are your thoughts about why is it difficult to date the older that you get? And let me know in the comments, are you having difficulty dating the older you get? Do you find it's easier? Keep the discussion going in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And then go check out some other videos. Make sure you check out the description box too. I have a lot of goodies in there. And I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.